A brief history on the creation of Delta State, written by Pastor Samson Okwegada. The race for the struggle for the creation of Delta State started on the 15th of March 1980. It was as a result of the circular letters signed and sent out by our National Assembly members, namely Senator D.O. Dafionene, representing Bendel South Senatorial District, Senator Insike Ipo, representing Bendel East, Honorable Dr. E.J. Sowo, Ethiop North Federal Constituency, Honorable P.A. Benije, Ethiop South Federal Constituency, Honorable P.E. Ide, Ugeli Federal Constituency, Honorable U.B. Egbuoku, Isoko Federal Constituency, and the Honorable Member representing Ndokwa. The meeting was fixed at the Laila Cinema Hall, Igbuduwari. People were invited from the 8 local governments of Delta Province, namely Bomadi, Burtu, Ethiop, Isoko, Ndokwa, Okpe, Ugeli, and Wari. It was in this meeting which only agenda was the discussion of the creation of a Delta State, and related matters were discussed and decisions were taken. It was in this meeting that the House unanimously agreed to launch an organization known as the Movement for the Creation of Delta State, whose obligation is to press on the crusade for the creation of the state. Immediately, a central council was set up comprising 5 representatives, each from 7 local government councils, with Ethiop having 10 representatives, making a total of 45 members council. This council was charged with the onerous responsibility of administering the movement and plan its strategy and program for the realization of the objective, the creation of Delta State. The members of the council are Chief S.O Akpotu as the chairman, S. Lori Skin as vice chairman, Architect Majoro as secretary, Chief Safia as treasurer, Chief Oroke as member, Senator D.O. Dafionene as chief launcher, Chief Barrister A.P.J. Opakbo, Chief Andy, and others. The members of the Central Council paid sacrifices of their time, energy, and finance to build the movement and nurture it out of nothing. Without such sacrifices made by these members, all our talk about the Delta State would have amounted to wishful thinking. The council experienced strong opposition and threats, but despite the threats from our Edo brethren and the government of UPN in power, then led by His Excellency Governor Ambrose Ali, the council continued to forge ahead with their request. When the government of the then Bendel states and our Edo brethren realized that they could do nothing to stop the movement, decided to sponsor a body that came up to counter Delta State by launching a cost state in which MAP, the Yoruba nation, was totally removed in order to create confusion. But this their movement could not work, even though it was sponsored. I must also mention the Delta Youth Vanguard, comprising a body of youths dedicated to this movement, amongst whom are Polinius Akweki from Saple, Samson Okwegada, John Imoriga, Edafe Imaro, Edokwa Jonathan, Abeki from Burtu, Samuel Akeke, Isaac Otwada, Thamos Tagbari, and many others, who labored in the open sea, even in the midnight, and were always there with the Central Council wherever they went to give them cover. Several times the elders were attacked by opposition, but the youths came to fight back and restored normalcy. After the inauguration of the Central Council, the first major milestone they crossed was the battle to obtain the required signatories of members of the National Assembly, Bendel State House of Assembly, and democratically elected councillors from the area demanding the creation of Delta State. Thereafter, ready for the formal presentation of the request from the creation of the state to the National Assembly in accordance with the constitutional requirements for state creation. The members played a very commendable role in ensuring that success was achieved. Commendation must go to the honorable members of national and state assemblies as well as councillors who signed the request. All deserved thanks. After the collection of the required signatories, on the 4th of September 1980, Chief S.O Akpotu, chairman of the National Central Council, had the privilege and honor to lead a formidable delegation of Deltans from the 8 local government area comprising of the distinguished Senator D.O. Dafio-Nene, who was also the chief launcher, honorable members, distinguished chiefs, ladies and gentlemen from all walks of life to present the request to both houses of the National Assembly. The delegation made such an impact on the President of the Senate, Senator Joseph Wires, and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives that both of them said in unison that the request is second to none. The wide publicity given to the presentation by all news media, including television stations, was the talk of the nation throughout the country. As I have said earlier, individual members of the council made financial sacrifices to see the movement going on, and it was therefore agreed upon by the council to launch a fund for the purpose of carrying out the noble crusade. To start the launching of the fund from Lagos and then Benin City, and thence to all the local government headquarters of the Delta province. The Lagos launching, which was a huge success, took place at the National Stadium Surulere on the 5th September 1980. 2 weeks later, Benin City, the Bendel State capital, took its turn. The fundraising took place in all the local government headquarters as planned, and also at Jos, the Northern Zonal Council, between September 1980 and April 1981. The visit of the Honorable Togas Committee on the Creation of States for the verification of the signatories was another memorable milestone in the history of the movement. The movement, through its various ad hoc committees, gave good account of itself, though the Bendel state government sponsored talks to disrupt and asked some of the signatories to deny their signatures. I can say that the visit by and large was a success. Following the visit of the Toga Committee, the National Assembly directed that the Council must name the headquarters of the proposed Delta State because when Chief Dr. S.O Akpotu, the National Chairman, presented the request to the 2 national houses, the headquarters was not named for the fact that the Council knew that if that's been named at that time, there will be much problem and the movement may not be able to get the dream achieved. So when this directive came from the National Assembly that the Council should name the headquarters of the proposed state, it became a convulsive and challenging period of its existence. Ugeli and Sapele contested for the location of the headquarters because it was zoned to the Urobo. The acrimony with which both sides fought this nearly caused death of the movement from July to early December 1981. Sanity returned once again to the movement as a result of the suggestion of Senator D.O. Dafionine, which the chairman, Chief Dr. S.O Akpotu, agreed upon, that the headquarters be moved to a neutral place between Ughelli and Saple. Efron Junction was therefore selected and Ughelli and Saple were dropped. We thank God that after this sanity returned. After the hurdles and sanity returned, the council continued with the pursuit, lobbying here and there until 1983, that the army took over government, and the new government of General Muhammadu Buhari placed a bound on the creation of states. When the government of General Ibrahim Babangida came up, the race began again. Thanks be to God that in this government we have a man, General Paul Ufoma Omu, who was also a member of the Supreme Military Ruling Council, who became a guide to the Council of the Creation of Delta States, led by Chief S.O Akpotu, and his people, directing them where to go and who to meet at any given time. At this time, the council was always on the move to see the people that matters and to do whatever they were asked to do until the state was created by the Babangida administration in August 27, 1991. We thank God that both of us who fought for Delta State and those who fought for Anyoma State are here together today as one.